So, but it's good. Good experience. We give a good action.
And just shows you that he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp,
I think Mario is gonna go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but he's a legend. He already did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But if he
Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios had a heated face-off at their first press conference. When asked about Barrios being much younger, Pacquiao simply laughed and replied, "Don't worry about it." His calm yet confident response showed the veteran's unshaken belief in his ability, setting the tone for a fiery clash ahead.
Manny, you excited to step into the ring again?
Yes.
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, Manny.
Don't worry about it.
Mario Barrios enters this high-stakes bout brimming with quiet confidence. The young fighter made it clear during press interactions that he fully believes in both his personal capabilities and his team's strategy. Barrios emphasized that they've studied Pacquiao's style, strengths, and tendencies, and are not entering this match blindly. According to him, the game plan is sharp, focused, and specifically designed to take advantage of what he views as a generational gap. His calm composure suggests that he doesn't see this fight as an uphill battle, but rather as an opportunity to execute what he's trained for.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing. His punches, combinations, and it just shows you that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Manny Pacquiao's training regimen reflects the same intensity that defined his prime. At 46, his movements are still sharp, his combinations crisp, and his footwork purposeful. Observers have noted that Pacquiao appears dialed in, focused not just on getting in shape, but on refining the details. There's a sense of urgency in his camp, not of desperation, but of determination to prove that this comeback isn't a hollow gesture. The Filipino icon, known for his discipline, appears locked into a mental state that disregards the noise around him.
Roger Fernandez. Si Roger Fernandez.
Contrary to the belief that Pacquiao had fully stepped away from boxing, it's been revealed that he remained active behind the scenes. Participating in unsanctioned or low-profile exhibition matches, he kept his tools sharp and reflexes intact. These underground bouts may not have drawn headlines, but they were vital in keeping his timing and conditioning alive. Pacquiao's decision to stay physically engaged after retirement highlights his enduring love for the sport. He's not returning to the ring cold. He's been quietly working, staying in rhythm.
A lot of people say, well, he's been inactive, he's older. Man, but he throw punches. He has a lot of experience. And his last fight was an exhibition, which still was a fight and still kept him sharp, punching, doing something. So it ain't like he just ain't been in the ring, ain't did nothing. Yeah, he been working. It's like them underground boxing matches are real fights. And it keep you off bold. Emmanuel Stewart used to do a lot of exhibitions for his guys, or his guys to get them sharp, to get them prepared for a fight. If they hadn't fought in a minute, just to have them fight sharp. What up, Keith? Yeah, just to have them fight sharp. So if they got in the ring and they hadn't fought in a minute, it won't seem like it. It'd seem like they just recently fought. Yeah.
Boxer Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez didn't mince words when giving his take on the Pacquiao-Barrios showdown. Rodriguez acknowledged Pacquiao's legendary status, but firmly placed his faith in youth. According to him, Barrios' physical freshness and youthful energy will prove too overwhelming for the 46-year-old legend. Rodriguez went as far as to predict a beating, underscoring the risks of coming out of retirement to face an active, hungry opponent. In Rodriguez's view, experience may be valuable, but it simply can't make up for the physical advantages that Barrios holds: stamina, speed, and recovery time among them.
I think Mario is gonna go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but I mean, he's a legend. He already did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But if he wants to get in the ring with Mario, then I guess Mario has to show him that he has a youth, and Manny Pacquiao should have just stayed retired.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of fans are saying,
Yeah.
and are still kind of disbelief. But even looking at social media and the fans, they're thrilled just to see him back. So
Yeah.
just to have him in the ring, and these
Yeah.
fighters at that age are not competing.
I think that just says a lot about the type of fighter Manny Pacquiao is, the stardom he has. I mean, he's 46, 47?
He's 46.
And people are still excited to see him fight. So, I mean, that just says a lot about him and what he's done in his career. So, like I said earlier, to see a friend I grew up with fight Manny Pacquiao is going to be pretty cool. And it's the same night. So, it's a huge night for San Antonio boxing.
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas brought a fresh perspective to the conversation by highlighting Barrios' transition in weight classes. While many see Barrios' youth and size as clear advantages, Atlas argued that these traits might be misleading. Barrios, he explained, originally fought in lighter weight divisions before moving up to welterweight. This, according to Atlas, diminishes the narrative that Barrios holds a legitimate size advantage over Pacquiao. Instead, the analyst suggested the matchup is more balanced than it appears.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course, we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
108
that
pounds.
Round. You could move around. Navigate a little bit, say this, say that. But there comes to a certain point with everything that no matter how much you move the furniture around, you still know what room you're in. You still know what room. You can't fool yourself. And he's in a room where he's 46 years old with 72 fights. I rest my case, counselor.
Yeah,
Longtime trainer Justin Fortune offered high praise for Manny Pacquiao, comparing him to the likes of Michael Jordan. The analogy wasn't just about greatness, it was about sustained excellence over time. Fortune emphasized that while Pacquiao is older, he hasn't allowed himself to become rusty or complacent. His discipline has kept him in fighting shape, and his training habits reflect a mental sharpness uncommon even among active champions.
His age, yeah, I mean, but it's not, listen, he's 45, 46. Are you leaving jail? 45, 46, but he's always active. So he's always staying active, he's always doing something, mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio, so no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win?
Well, what, Diaz beat, I mean, different Diaz,
He's already as fast as he's been all the years. He hasn't lost a beat?
No. Even if he did lose a beat, he's still faster than anyone else out there. But, you just have to set a schedule because he's not 25 anymore. So, yeah.
But what does it mean to boxing that he's back? What does it mean? Like, you can feel the festive energy.
Of course, because he's
an icon.
He's an icon. He's Pacquiao. He's the Jordan of boxing. Simple as that.
No, he has more championships than Jordan. He has 8.
No, I mean, he's
he's
that
an
famous.
iconic figure. Yeah, he is.
And boxing needs it.
Yeah. No, it's true. The sport is hurting. There's nobody like Manny. Well, you're very popular these days. Everyone loves you.
For Mario Barrios, this fight is more than just a stepping stone. It's the pinnacle of his boxing dreams. To face a legend like Manny Pacquiao is a moment of pride, pressure, and tremendous opportunity. Barrios has openly expressed his admiration for Pacquiao's legacy, but he's also made it clear that he won't let that reverence affect his performance. Respect aside, Barrios is in this to win. This isn't just a paycheck or a publicity fight, it's a statement.
One time I interviewed your sister, and she told me when you were kids, she would do the best in sparring. She would get the best of you.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, easily.
When did that change, Mario? When did that change?
He wasn't the only guy she got the best of in San Antonio. She got the best out of everybody, man. Shit.
No, yeah, my sister's a beast, man. Like, she couldn't spar other females a lot of times. Cause they,
unfair.
Yeah.
Mismatch.
She was, like, overwhelming, man. She was just naturally, strong. And, so, yeah, most of the time, smart partners, they were dudes. But, I couldn't really even, like spar with her serious until I was, like, 17 or 18.
Wow.
We have Sean Gibbons here, Manny Pacquiao's right-hand man, advisor, head of MP Promotions. Sean, I know you spent a lot of time with Manny Pacquiao over recent weeks and months. There's a lot of conversations about Manny's comeback. What is the latest that you could offer and the update around the potential matchup with Mario Barrios?
Well, the latest is Manny's fighting an exhibition on 28th in Japan. So, you don't want to really look past that. But if he's successful there, Mario Barrios. We've talked about Conor Benn, which I believe was a great fight. That would have been a tremendous fight. We could have done it in England. We could have done it in the U.S. We could have done it in Riyadh season. But the fact that he wasn't able to come off the suspension, that put the brakes on that. So that brought us to Mario Barrios. He's the WBC world champion. Manny's first belt ever, many years ago, was a WBC belt. So I think it would.
Ricky Hatton's reaction to Pacquiao's comeback was a mix of admiration and skepticism. The former champion acknowledged the drama and unpredictability of boxing, but questioned the logic behind a title fight after such a long layoff. Hatton highlighted the changing pace of modern boxing and suggested that Pacquiao's re-entry may not be the fairy tale return fans are hoping for.
Mario Barrios for the WBC title, a number of years out of the ring. What do you make of it?
Well, one, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I think there's every chance he could do. Secondly, I think how has he got to a world title shot? Fifth in the world, imagine if he was number 1 and 2 in the division and trained all your life to get there, and then Manny comes in after being retired 5 years and or whatever it is, and goes into number 5 in the division. Boxing these days.
Carl Frampton's take on the fight was blunt and unsparing. He labeled the match a joke, expressing serious doubt about the motives behind Pacquiao's return. Frampton suggested that financial incentives may be playing a role, overshadowing the sporting integrity of the bout. His concern wasn't just for the sport, but for Pacquiao's well-being. At 46, he argued, Pacquiao is more susceptible to injury, and stepping into a high-stakes world title fight could be reckless.
It's a joke, really. There's the thought. It's an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. An all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in his last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen world champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers. They can't box. They can kick, but they can't, and they can kick and box a little bit. They can't really box, and Manny didn't look great. I mean, yep, I don't know. The WBC, I think they have a lot of time for him, Richie O'Sullivan, but I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed alone.
Trainer Robert Garcia offered a balanced perspective, praising Pacquiao's legacy while voicing concern over the toll age takes on elite athletes. Garcia acknowledged that Pacquiao's name belongs among the greatest, but warned that physical decline is inescapable.
Retirement. Well, look, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with PBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, getting another title opportunity, just the name obviously, but I really believe that Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little. I don't want to say sad because he's going to make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for I'm just 4 years older, 3-4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're gonna get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were when you were in the 20s and 30s.
You think it's impossible for him to beat Mario Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. That he should have that power. My boy, so I don't see that happening. But is it possible? Anything's possible. George Foreman did it. There's been others that do it. But I really don't see it happening.
But Pacquiao's speed's the name of his game. Do you think he doesn't have that? There's no way he doesn't have the same speed as before.
There's no way, bro. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen his last performance.
The exhibition against that big guy.
It was actually embarrassing to see that shit. You know, so it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
If Pacquiao wins, what does that do for him? Where does that put him all time?
Hell, come on. At that age, after like a few years, I don't know how many years he's been off. That'd be impressive. It's hard to think it's gonna happen, but that shit would be nice, man. It would be nice. Very few have done it, and he's actually one that could do it.
Pacquiao, he's probably top 5 all time, one of the greatest fighters. Does this?
The Pacquiao-Barrios fight has divided opinion. Some believe Pacquiao's wealth of experience, fight IQ, and veteran toughness can prevail over a younger, less proven opponent. Others view the event through a more critical lens, comparing it to modern spectacle fights that prioritize entertainment over sporting merit. The comparison to Tyson versus Jake Paul has floated around, with critics worried the match might lack genuine competitiveness. Still, Pacquiao's aura and the stakes at hand keep the fight compelling, if controversial.
Yes.
You got Manny winning?
No. Against Barrios?
Yeah.
No, I think every great fighter got one great fight left in him. That had to be Thurman. And Manny, I think Manny seems to want to... Manny appears to be like how Bernard and Roy were. Like, he's really one of those great old school fighters where he's got to go out on his shield.
Yeah.
Going out on your shield used to not mean just in any given fight. It used to mean that's how they went out, period, fighters. And Manny's like that.
I do not want to see... It's really hard to see Manny Pacquiao losing to Mario Barrios because of who they are. But who they are now,
Sean, I do not want to see like Manny on the knee, mouthpiece out. That's going to hurt me.
Kevin McBride, Mike Tyson.
That's going to hurt me.
For Pacquiao, this isn't just a return. It's a return to where it all began. He'll be fighting for the WBC welterweight title, the very belt that helped launch his global stardom. This poetic symmetry adds weight to the occasion. Winning this title again at this stage in his life would be a powerful closing chapter in an already historic career. It's not just about defying odds, it's about defining legacy.
At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your...
Barrios and his team are leaving nothing to chance. Reports from his training camp suggest a high level of intensity and strategic focus. Despite facing a 46-year-old opponent, Barrios is training as if Pacquiao is still in his prime. His team has made it clear. They're not underestimating the legend. They know that an unfocused performance could cost them dearly. For Barrios, this fight is a chance to validate his rise and cement his place in the division.
They presented us, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Batirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots Ennis.
Jeff Mayweather has publicly condemned the decision to grant Pacquiao a title shot, calling it unfair to active fighters who've been grinding through the ranks. He pointed out that Pacquiao, having been away from official competition for years, has not earned the right to leapfrog the current contenders. To Mayweather, this bout disrupts the meritocratic nature of boxing. While acknowledging Pacquiao's contributions to the sport, he believes the comeback should not come at the expense of hard-working athletes still in their prime.
Going for another belt, taking on Mario Barrios. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, before I even talk about the fight, it seems that boxing has changed because this guy's been retired for what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, what's his last fight, Thurman?
Yeah.
Been a while. He's 46 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that he's done nothing to be fighting for a world title.
Oh, yeah, for certain. Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't understand why he's even fighting for a world title.
But to make a comparison, isn't that kind of the same thing, though, really? Is like Floyd fighting Conor?
It's not the same.
Why not?
Because.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
No, I mean, he's been ranked. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's fighting a world champion from boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. But no, I mean, the thing is that he's done nothing to actually be fighting for a world title, other than just his name and what he's done in his past.
Well, don't you think someone of his stature is legendary?
I mean, his stature is legendary, but still, you have guys that are fighting right now that's fighting to try to get to that #1 spot. And basically, you have a guy that hasn't fought in I don't know how many years, just jumps up and take your spot, and it may win a title.
But we see that all the time, right? Some guys.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.